Hello and welcome back to Caliber Restoration. My name is Sarah. I'm so glad you're here with me today. I'm going to walk you step by step on how I refinish this adorable little side table. It's wood. I'm pretty sure that it was handmade. I am going to start by removing all of the knobs one by one because I'm going to sand the fronts of these drawer faces and the top of this little nightstand with a 120 grit sandpaper, just enough to get off the finish and the stain, to get it down to the bare wood. What's really nice about these handmade pieces that are kind of vintage and older is they are made out of actual wood. There's no vinyl, there's no veneer. It's actual wood that I get to stain and work with, and I just absolutely love these old and sturdy pieces. They're so fun to bring new life to. So like I said, I sanded down the fronts of all the drawer faces and the very top with this 150 grit sandpaper to get off that finish. Once that's completely done and I've got it all sanded, I'm going to then buff it out with a 220 grit in order to get it really smooth and soft and prepped for my stain. And I'm also going to do a black wash. So stay tuned and you will see. Now that I've got it all buffed out, I've got to clean it and have it all prepped and ready for stain and primer. So I vacuumed it out and then I washed it off with a rag just to get off all of the debris from sanding. The stain that I used on the top of this is called Espresso. It is by Varathane. I picked it up at my local Home Depot. I like the way it goes on. It's super easy to work with. I like to wear gloves to protect my hands, and I just use an old rag to apply this. So I put this on the very top of the side table / nightstand, and I also put it on all of my drawer faces. I always like to wipe in the same direction as my wood grain. Now I'm going to black wash using a latex flat black paint by Rust-Oleum. Again, also pick this up at my local Home Depot. I get my bristles slightly into my product and then I wipe them off because I don't want that much product on my bristles, and then I just keep working that paint to kind of mimic the pattern of wood grain. I like doing the black wash. I like the different definitions and variations and depth that it gives my stains and my woodwork. So I use this technique a lot. So I basically just brush and wipe until I have the pattern that I like. Once I've completed my black wash, I prime the base with a charcoal chalk paint by Rust-Oleum, also picked up at Home Depot. However, you can get this chalk paint, the exact same chalk paint, in other department stores for a lower price. You can get them on Amazon, you can get it at Walmart, you can get it at, I think those are the main two places that I've been able to find it. I feel like Home Depot's price just keeps getting higher and higher with this paint. But anyway, so I prime the base with my charcoal paint, and then I use metallic paint, also by Rust-Oleum. It's the first time I've ever used metallic paint, and I'm super pleased with the coverage that my charcoal paint provided me as far as my primer went, and then applying this metallic paint on top, the coverage was amazing. I am so pleased with it. I want the paint to have kind of a weathered look. We use this metallic color, but I want it to be like weathered metal, kind of. So I went ahead and I put on my metallic paint. I didn't mind so much if there were any brush strokes. It wasn't really wasn't too bad. It went on pretty darn smooth. And then I allowed that to dry completely for 24 hours. Once that's completely dry, I went over the entire thing with my Minwax Soft Touch wood finishing wax. You can also use it on paint, but I use that to seal the top and the drawer faces, and also the base with the silver. Now, I noticed that the silver kind of came off on my brush a little bit. So before I went over to those drawer faces, I really needed to work that silver back out by going over my brush with a rag, and that did the trick so that the silver didn't transfer onto the drawer faces. I then used an antiquing wax or a brown wax to add some variations. I kind of wanted to use it to almost mimic the color of rust so that I could stick to that weathered metal feel. And I just worked that in or here and there. There's not like an exact science. It's just working with it to get it to look good to your eye. I also used that brown wax on the top and on the drawer faces just to make it a little warmer. After my brown wax, I immediately go in with black wax and add a little more texture by wiping that on and wiping it off. So brush and wipe and brush and wipe. Once that's done and I've got it exactly how I want it, I put all my drawers back in, I put all my hardware back on, I staged it up, I sent pictures to my client, I'm wrapping up my video, and I thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like to see. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.